violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Skips in there. We're looking back to the very start of Channel 4 on this day in 1957, and we have special features planned for the rest of the year. But first tonight, we're tracking a crime that is once again on the rise. In this case, it's sort of like adding insult to injury.
It is. A New Orleans woman reported her car stolen. She located the vehicle using a GPS tracker, and she says at first police seemed disinterested in helping her recover the vehicle. Then we got involved.
Damn. So, I mean, the police are just, at this point, they're not really worried about carjackings, grapings, sexual assaults, all that kind of stuff. It seems like they're annoyed with it because they understand that they're just going to lock these guys up and they're going to be back out on the streets. So they really don't want to have nothing to do with y'all.
Yeah, Paul Murphy joining us now at the NOPD headquarters in Mid-City. Paul.
Therese, Katie, the NOPD's manpower shortage is well documented. The trickle-down effect is slower response times, particularly when it comes to property crimes where someone's life is not in imminent danger. Well, today we met a woman who took matters into her own hands to track down, then recover her stolen car. Kendra Mack arrived at the NOPD's 7th District headquarters to get a copy of a police report on her stolen car. Monday, someone took her 2019 Hyundai Accent from the parking lot of her apartment building in New Orleans East.
Once I noticed my car was completely gone, I called NOPD, and they stated that someone will give me a call, and they will not come out because of the shortage of officers. Of course. Police ended up calling her the next day to take a report. She tracked the stolen vehicle to the 14,000 block of Curran Boulevard in the Little Woods neighborhood on her own using a GPS device installed in her car.
And that is something that everybody should look into, getting a GPS tracking device in your car, especially if you're in one of these major democratic cities, because you know, the police are not really, they're pretty much annoyed with all the things that have been going on. So they're not trying to fool with y'all. I'm telling y'all, when you talk about defunding the police and criminal justice reform and all these different things, it adds up, and people are not rocking with y'all no more. Like, you don't, it's like you alienated the only people who really cared about fixing this issue.
And I did notify NOPD that here's what a vehicle is and the location, and they said that it was going to get somebody out right away, and nobody never came out.
We went to that same location, and sure enough, Mac's car was still there on the street next to Maria Caston's home. Can you tell me how long this car has been here?
Approximately like 2.5 days. It happens a lot in my area with stolen vehicles, in and out.
The back passenger side window was shattered, and the thief tampered with the ignition system, possibly using a USB device to start the car. The vehicle was left unlocked, and it reeked with the smell of marijuana.
I feel like that I'm doing their job, you know, by investigating where my car is, you know what I'm saying, and nobody's coming out and actually being concerned.
Police.
Yep, and I mean, they stealing cars and then whipping them like it's theirs.
Finally arrived about an hour and a half later to process the vehicle, 3 days after it was stolen.
I feel a little bit better about that, you know, that somebody came out and they gave me a reason why it was delayed. They're experiencing a lot of carjacking going around in the city, so it's not just here, it's everywhere else.
And we are happy to report that despite the challenges, Kendra Mack will soon have her car back after police are done dusting it for prints and collecting other evidence that could lead to the person who stole the car. Outside NOPD headquarters, Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
As we know, the recall follows public outrage over the mayor's travel expenses and her support of a teenage carjacker. The mayor said this week she does not take sides in the carjacking case and supports victims of crime as well.
Yeah, so we checked with victims of recent carjackings and their families to see if they had been contacted. Meg Fear is joining us now with what she found out. Meg?
And Sharice and Katie, you may recall that on Wednesday, the mayor said, quote, victims matter, and they need support and they need resources as well. So are they getting that? Here's what some had to say. The news of Linda Fricky being dragged to her death by 4 carjackers was heard.
And remember, we covered the Linda Fricky story.
Heard around the world. Family says strangers reached out to them, some so devastated by the brutal death, they went to her funeral. And the family says Mayor LaToya Cantrell did contact them.
She offered her condolences, and she did tell us if there was anything that she could do. She would, she was very compassionate.
So she said that to them, but when other people are getting carjacked, she shows up to the suspects or the defendants hearing as a character witness. She says she cares, but her actions are not lining up.
Kelly Ryan, a mother, wife, and realtor, was also dragged in a brutal daytime carjacking. We talked at great length earlier today with Jason Ryan. He is the husband of Kelly, who was carjacked here at the Costco while pumping gas earlier this year. He says she's making a good bit of progress on her healing journey, but she still has medical issues related to the carjacking. Now, he says neither the mayor nor her office has ever reached out to him. Jason did say that council members Helena Moreno and Joe Giarrusso called to offer support, something the family to this day appreciates. Madison Bergeron and Stephanie Udo, the 2 recent carjacking victims who've been speaking out after they saw the mayor in the courtroom supporting the 13-year-old offender, also say the mayor has not called them. But the Fricky family remembers the mayor saying this.
She was saying that she would see to it that they would be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
And if they were to talk to her again today, they'd say the juvenile laws need to be revamped because children and teens are much more dangerous.
They have no regard for authority. Our teachers can't control them.
Yep.
And her intervention.
The juvenile detention centers can't control them neither.
Programs she talks about need to be started much earlier in life.
You don't go from playing hopscotch and He-Man to murdering, beating, and carjacking.
And they're tired of the same criminals like the ones who took Linda's life having the opportunity to offend over and over again.
He should have been detained at the time. He should not have been on the streets.
Now, we contacted the mayor's communications office this morning, and then we did so again this afternoon with a list of questions asking if there is an effort to start talking to victims. So far, our requests have gone unanswered.
Meg, thank you so much.
We now know the names of the 2 men killed in a still unsolved hit-and-run crash Friday in Marrero.
The men were a father and son, and their family is reeling from having to bury both of them. WGNO's Anna McAllister is here with more. Anna.
Susie Kurt, the family of Carl January Sr. and his son, Carl C.J. January Jr., are at a loss for words. C.J. was attending school in New Orleans, his father visiting him for his birthday. Both men were struck and killed while riding on a scooter, and the family wants to know why the suspect never stopped.
It leaves you without words for someone to take them so tragically. I don't want them to go out this way. I want their life to have meaning. Oh, God.
For Anna January Beal, there is no pain compared to this.
Her brother, 58-year-old Carl January Sr., and her nephew, 37-year-old Carl CJ January Jr., were killed in a hit-and-run crash in Marrero early Friday morning.
To hear that they were hit was bad. To hear that the person did not stop was devastating.
Beal says CJ, a Wisconsin native and 14-year Army veteran, was studying psychiatry at Xavier and Loyola. January Sr., who lived in Georgia, came to visit his son, helping CJ work on a scooter he used to get around. Troopers say the duo took the scooter for a ride on the West Bank Expressway near the Ames Boulevard exit around 3:30 a.m. on Friday. That's when they were struck by this white Ford F-150. Troopers say the truck dragged the scooter down the road before it became engulfed in flames.
For CJ to serve his country and then come back and get dragged or get...
Right, man. I mean, it's wrong, bro. It is super crazy how this type of activity has pretty much been enabled. Okay, this is something that it almost seems like there's no resistance in any major cities to this kind of stuff. It's wild, man. These super gremlins are on demon time.
This happened to him and his dad. It's hard.
CJ died just 2 days before his 38th birthday. Beal describes her brother and nephew as happy, caring men who loved education. She says losing both of them at once has shattered their family and is pleading for the person responsible to come forward.
Turn yourself in. Do the right thing and turn yourself in.
Louisiana State Police say they don't have a suspect at this time, and they're asking for the public's help to identify this car. It's a 2004 white Ford F-150 with an extended cab, a silver toolbox in the bed, and extensive damage to the front. Troopers say the license plate fell off during the crash, but believes it could be a Texas plate reading CCD 3344. Police are asking anyone who knows anything about this crash to come forward and do the right thing. Kurt, Susie.
Hopefully somebody sees that truck. All right, thank you, Anna.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.